Good afternoon, Vicarage fans. This is Pastor Jay checking back in with all of you just to see how you're doing and to continue a very quick video today in our video series on walking in the blessing. Just got back from doing our 2-week grocery shopping, and of course, you know how all of those of you who go out grocery shopping know how much fun that is in this current climate. It's actually getting a little bit better. We didn't take us too long today, and we didn't do too badly. You can hear there's fire trucks going off in the background. Don't know what that's all about, but you can pray. I'm vlogging to you here from the grounds of the vicarage, getting ready this afternoon to do some more planting and some more watering. It's heading on towards Memorial Day weekend, so here in Massachusetts, that's a safe spot to start planting your crops outside. All the things that you've got inside can start coming outside. And so I'm looking forward to getting that done this weekend over the next few days, and looking forward to starting to grow some of our own food. I got the potatoes in yesterday, and that was just awesome. We've been talking in this series about learning to walk in the blessing, and how if we're going to be generous people and be able to release the gifts that God has put inside of us into the world, then we have to come to a place of blessing in our own lives, because we cannot give blessings that we have not yet received. We cannot help others to walk in a blessed way if we ourselves do not understand we are blessed. So we've been talking about how so many of us struggle in the area of blessedness for various reasons, and I want to unlock ways and attitudes that help us to walk in blessing. Today I want to talk about walking in the attitude of managing healthy relationships. If we're going to walk in blessing, we have to come to a place where we understand that we need healthy relationships around us. We become a lot like the people we hang out with. It's just part of being human. What we expose ourselves to, what we allow ourselves to think about, what we allow ourselves to enter into relationship with, we become. And so we have to be mindful of the relationships that we have. And we have to be mindful of how much we allow the relationships we have with people, or the connections we have around us, some of which we're forced to, how much we allow them to influence and affect us. And we have to begin to do the work that we need to do in order to manage those relationships and manage the emotions that go along with those relationships, so that we can be healthy and walk in blessing. Let me give you an example of this. So say, for instance, you have someone in your life who is extraordinarily angry all the time. Well, it becomes more and more difficult the more you're exposed to that person to keep from being angry yourself. Now, in certain circumstances, we can't get away from an angry person. Say you're working for a boss who has an anger management issue. Well, you have two options. You can quit the job and leave the job, or you can learn to manage the relationship in a healthy way so that that person's, your boss's anger doesn't flow into you. Now, that's a work of prayer. What it also means, it's a work of determining how much of your time that boss gets, how much of your emotional time and private time your boss gets. In other words, so if you're at work and you're exposed to your boss, and your boss is always angry with you and he yells all the time in the office and things like that, well, during that time you may not have any choice but to be exposed to the anger. However, the minute you leave that office building, The minute you walk out of the office, that's your time. And you get to determine the attitude you're going to walk in that with. Now, sure, you're going to have to do some emotional work of releasing, letting go. But if you don't do that work, you're just going to carry your boss's anger with you into the rest of your life. And that anger can block your blessing. On the other hand, if you choose to stop allowing your boss to influence your attitude, and instead you determine that on your own time, you're going to walk in blessedness. You walk out of the office, you do the work that's necessary to cut off. I actually do a cutting off prayer when I'm in highly difficult circumstances or emotionally draining or unhealthy circumstances. At the end of that time, I actually do a cutting off prayer where I ask God to set me free from any curses spoken against me. I ask any emotional baggage or bondage that tried to get onto me or into my soul to be cut off by the power of Jesus Christ. And I ask God to fill me with a mindset of positivity, love, joy, peace, gentleness, kindness, faith, meekness, and self-control. And so, we get to determine how much the relationships around us, even the ones that we need to remain in, how much they affect us. Simply by determining on our time, are we going to let that person have control of my time and my attitude? When we begin to do this, we actually begin to take authority of that relationship and in that relationship, and we begin to gain influence in that relationship to the point where we can turn the tide many times. We can help the person who is so angry to begin to get over their anger and become blessed. Not all the time, but many times what you'll notice is that if you stop letting people affect you and the relationships affect you, and you begin to do the positive work you need to do, one of two things is going to happen. The relationship is going to end because you're moving in a positive direction and the person doesn't want to move, or that person is going to begin to get healed themselves. That's the power of releasing the blessing in action. So, our mindset and our attitude that releases blessing today is the mindset of managing your relationships. Have a great day. Talk to you later.